Hey guys, this is Argotha, and today I'm going to teach you about the snapping turtle. And what that is combining offense and defense, using blocks and attacks at the same time. So, a good example of doing this is casting a life wall, queuing up 3 rock, and shooting a rock at your opponent as soon as your life wall detonates. The reason you would do this, and the reason you do this, is you're setting yourself up for a heal, right? The WED is going to heal you when it detonates. Additionally, it's going to block projectiles, but because you're queuing up because you're charging up that rock, your opponent is going to see you charging up that rock, and they have to do something about that. They have to make a decision. They can either tank that damage, or they can fully ward the damage, and then if they decide to tank the damage and just move in, then they're going to have to make a health trade with you. And generally, that's not what you want. You want them to just stay back and block. So they might not do that, and they may end up just double warding it and then moving in with a beam or whatever and damaging you anyway. But this is just one method of the snapping turtle, and it is the simplest. So, of course, it's the easiest to counter. Now this one is a lot harder to counter, and it's basically turtle cracking, but you're cracking your own turtle. So what you do is you cast a wall, you queue up ice, and then you follow up with lightning. Now, what is happening here, and the reason it's so powerful, is obviously I'm going to break through my wall with the ice, and I'm going to damage him with that. Now I'm threatening him with ice damage, which means he's probably going to either ward this, or he's going to ward some variation of QEX or EDX, maybe even QED. So he has to do that because you're charging up the ice. He knows that you're going to do ice damage to him, but he doesn't know that you're going to do lightning damage to him because you might use a beam instead of lightning. Either way, he needs to block that ice damage, which makes him vulnerable to the lightning damage. Now he could cast a wall, but your QE or your ice is going to shred his wall as well, and then you're still going to hit him with the lightning. So the only way to actually not take damage from this combo is to just back off. You have to back off, or you're going to trade health. And if he doesn't feel like it's a good time for him to trade health yet, then that's what he's going to do. He's going to back off. And that is the goal of this combo, is to make your opponent get away so that you have breathing room so you can heal and recover your health. Now, alternatively, if you have a health disadvantage, you don't want to just stand there and spam ASF, because he's going to be more willing to make a health trade with you because he has more health to trade. So instead of doing this, where you're vulnerable and he could hit you with a rock, or he could just channel a beam at you while you're casting your lightning, you can instead back off and do a beam. And even if you do have health, even if you do have even health or more health than your opponent, it's still a good idea to juggle randomly between the beam variant and the lightning variant, just to keep them on their toes. Because if they don't know what you're going to use, then that encourages them to be defensive. And those are the strongest versions of the snapping turtle. Now, all of this is about trading health. But when you're trading health, you have to have health to trade. Now, if I'm down this low, a single hit can kill me. You hit me with a single tick of lightning, I'm going to die. So what I need to do at this point is I need to make sure that I get healed and you, my opponent, are prevented from doing damage to me while I'm getting my heal. And this is one of the ways to do it, and it's one of my favorite ways to do it because it pushes them so far. So what you're doing is you double ward Earth and drop your lifelines, so you're going to be immune to the pushback or the knock-up from your mines, and then you're just going to Q. Now, if they're not warded Earth, they're going to get knocked up from the life mines, and then they're going to get pushed from the water spray. And when they get knocked up off the ground, water spray is a lot more powerful because it sends them slightly upwards, and then they can fly all the way over here if you land the combo properly. Now, this is very situational. For one, I got to be in this ward, and they can't be in an Earth ward. If they're in an Earth ward, it's not going to work very well. So what you can fall back on, and what you should fall back on, is WED and Q. Now what you're doing here is, for one, note I said Q. Just a single Q. Don't use any more, and it's because they are warded Earth. So they're resisting your pushback, and you want them to, because what you're doing is you're setting up your heal from your life wall, and then you are stun locking them until your life wall detonates. So you channel it until your life wall detonates, and then you either rinse and repeat if they're dumb and don't ward life or ward water, or maybe you got just enough health that you're willing to do something else and make a trade. So the last one is more useful for warfare, but I'm going to it's not necessarily useful for one-on-one, especially in dual maps because they're so small. But it's this. It's a good way to gain a lot of distance from your opponent. And depending on how you land it, you can get a lot of distance. If you land it properly, you can even not even take fall damage and still gain a significant amount of distance from your opponent, which gives you time to heal and block and get your health back up. So the way this works is you're going to step onto one of these middle mines. Now whichever mine that you step on, you then walk towards the closest outside mine. So if I step on this one, I'm going to walk to this. If I step on that one, I'm going to walk to that one. Now when I do that, I'm then going to want to wind up here. You want to be practically touching it when the water wall detonates. And if you do that right, the mines will knock you up in the air, and then the QED section that you're close to will send you flying. And those are the easiest to use and simplest tactics for the snapping turtle, and I hope this tutorial was helpful to you, and I hope that you understand when these are useful and when to use which one over another. And I hope you understand the importance of determining when to make a health trade and when to not make a health trade. And until next time, I'll catch you later.